Welcome to today's episode. We are going to talk about raising, growing, and planting hazelnuts. Stay tuned. Well, we're working here hard on the farm, getting these hazelnuts in the ground, and it is almost August.
Epic!
Well, here we have all the hazelnut trees that I got back in May. It's almost August. I got these puppies in May, and I've been trying to keep them nice and moist and the roots wet by having these just sit in a pile in my garden. But it's time to get them in. I desperately need to get them in. And we're working on a row here that is next to a new fence that my neighbor put in so he could have his moo cows. So as the story goes, there's a guy by the name of Mark Shepard who has a 106-acre permaculture kind of food forest situation going on in Viola, Wisconsin.
That's fire.
And as a side business of his, he also grows and sells hazelnuts. And here we have about 200 hazelnut trees, a hybrid hazelnut and an F1 kind of hazelnut, you know, standard. And we gotta get them in the ground. So you might be asking yourself, broski, how you gonna get these bad boys in the ground? And I'm gonna tell you the old-fashioned way. Good old American hardware. So I got this earth auger. It's battery powered. But you know what? Before we get to that, let's talk a little bit about hazelnuts and why I'm even considering planting them on my bare canvas of pure field. I mean, look at this. This is my field. Just grass, weeds, milkweed off in the distance. And we're gonna transform this field into raspberries, blueberries, gardens, hazelnuts. So let's talk about hazelnuts a little bit first before I start planting. And here we go. I think we're gonna head back to the man cave. It's not a man cave, but it's more like a family room because I'm a family man. Let's talk about the benefits of hazelnuts. One, gut health. Very good because they're loaded with fiber. 2, there's been studies that suggest that nuts and eating them and all that Helps you to not gain weight. I mean, well, you know, eating a handful of nuts is probably better than eating a handful of Skittles. And you avoid all those food dyes and titanium dioxide. Huh? Oh. Well, I didn't say anything about jelly beans. Three helps you to avoid the cholesterol thing. But you're not just gonna sit there and eat nuts all day. So you gotta be careful with cholesterol anyway, right? Like these bad boys, they don't have a lot of cholesterol in them, right? Right. Ooh, didn't get any shells in there. Here is another one. Reducing inflammation. Everybody has inflammation. And especially if you eat like sugar and salt and stuff, you can kind of feel your body kind of, you know, get all messed up. So eat some hazelnuts instead, reduce that inflammation. Yeah. Well, another great thing that hazelnuts can do for you is they can help improve your insulin sensitivity. I'm not an expert, but man, this egg is stuck. I'm not an expert at diabetes, but you know, hey, if hazelnuts do that for you, why not? And that's why I always eat some hazelnut chocolate. Yeah. Okay, next, let's talk about the hazelnuts itself. We know that there's a lot of great benefits, yada yada. Animals like them too. So if you want to attract turkeys and deer, to your neck of the woods, plant a few hazelnut trees. Okay, so here's the forms that hazelnuts can come in and be sold as. You can sell them as whole kernels. You can sell them in shell. So like Christmas comes around, deck the halls with balls of holly and some hazelnuts with your chestnuts. You can sell them as whole and broken kernels. You can sell them as sliced. You can sell them in small, medium, and large dice. You can sell them as paste and parline, which is like maybe like a syrup that you could add to like ice cream or pastry or whatever. And then you can sell them ground up into meal. Now, meal would be like a flour, and instead of using, you know, wheat to bake, you could use some ground up hazelnut meal. Pretty cool. Pretty cool indeed. Well, these are probably not the best eggs. Not that bad. Not that bad. Okay, back to the hazelnuts. Well, you can definitely turn your hazelnuts into a value-added product by putting it in chocolate, which is probably something that I'm going to consider doing once I actually start producing hazelnuts. But how long does it take to go from these teeny little tiny plants to yummy nuts? Let's find out. like we should be able to get our first crop of hazelnuts somewhere between 2 and 5 years from the initial planting. And you can expect to see about 25 pounds of hazelnuts per year per tree. So in about 5 years, I think I'm going to have way more hazelnuts than I could ever possibly eat. So I'm gonna have to either give them away to the deer and the turkeys, or maybe mix them in with chocolate. Well, it's time to switch out hats. There we go. Farmer Daniel to the rescue. Well, just gathering my batteries up so that I can start getting these hazelnuts in the ground. We got our lawnmower batteries. Well, hazelnuts are pretty easy to plant. I mean, as long as you have some ground, you can pretty much plant them anywhere. However, I like to spoil my hazelnuts by giving them a pretty fair amount of compost. Now, I'm on a little acreage here, and we're trying to certify it organic. So I procured some organic compost from Purple Cow, which is a company located near Madison that produces some certified organic compost. And it's a little spendy, but man, we have some really heavy clay soils. Where I'm at, and you know, being in my second year, I just don't have the compost ready to go, so I decided to just get 35 yards of this stuff, and well, I think it adds to some good soil for these hazelnuts. Here we go. I'm just installing the battery in my tractor here because I'm gonna go down to my compost pile and get a big old load of it with my gorilla cart. Yeah, it's amazing how these little lawn tractors can help you out. I have to start my tractor a little bit unconventionally. Got to touch something metal on the little solenoid in here, but it works, so here we go. At least I think it works. Come on. We are here by the compost pile, but I'm also by the chicken coop, and I think I gotta set the chickens free. Okay, ladies, freedom is yours. Woo! Fly like the wind, baby. Fly like the wind. All right, well, we came here for one reason and one reason alone, and that is to add some value to our hazelnuts that we will be planting very shortly. So here we go. It is. It's time to start the old tractor. Here we go. Choke up. Woo! Well, here we are at our row, and the last one I planted is right there, and I've been doing about 10 of my boots spacing, because these things can get between 10 and 15 feet wide, so I'm trying to give them adequate spacing. I'm gonna guess my boot is about 12 inches, give or take, so I'm gonna paste this off. 1, 2, 7, 8, 9, 10. So somewhere right about here. Well, I'm over here at my cache of hazelnuts, and we're just gonna select probably a hybrid here, since I've been planting hybrids in this row. So let's see if we can find a nice healthy one. Yeah, this one looks pretty good. The roots are still moist. Let's get it in the ground. Ooh. All right, now we're just gonna open up our hole and get our roots nice and distributed evenly. Make sure I get them as deep as I can. There we go. Pretty good. Now just backfill, and we should be off to the races. Obviously, I'll come in with some water, and we'll be in really good shape here. Ooh. Pack down the soil to remove air gaps. Then I'll just kind of push this soil in and make a little flat area where water can settle in. I'm on a slope, so I want to press down the soil that's facing down slope, so hopefully it doesn't wash away and erode. There we go. Now it's time for water. Oh yeah, I forgot. I gotta go turn on the water. I'll be right back. All right, next up, we're gonna get the old machine, and we're gonna try to line up the row that we already have started. Looks good. We'll go right about here, and we're just gonna go. Well, that is pretty much all I'm doing to plant these hazelnut trees. So I purchased them online, and they've been sitting in my garden in a big clump for about 2 months. And here we are at the very tail end of July. And I'm just getting them in the ground now. I'm probably gonna have to do a little more maintenance, especially if it gets dry here in August. I'll probably have to be out here watering them almost on a daily basis, potentially. But hazelnuts are very, 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 very perseverance-y. Is that a word? Perseverance is a key word. And these guys can persevere like none other. So I have complete and total faith that what I plant here today will produce me fruit within 2 to 5 years. And by fruit, I mean nuts. So we're just watering this down really good, and then we're gonna get on planting some more. Well, now that I'm done watering, I like to top off my plant with some more compost. It kind of acts as a mulch, and it'll keep my clay from drying up like a rock. So I'm just gonna be a little liberal here. Spread it out. It's just wood chips, you know, leaf mulch, but I think that's gonna add a lot of biology to my soil. And there we go. On to the next one. Well, we got our hole dug. Now it's time to add some compost. There we go. I just like to mix it around and get down in the soil and mix up my clay and my compost. Now, what I like about my earth auger is that my heavy clay soil gets pulverized. So I'm not down here breaking up clumps if I was digging this out with a shovel. The earth auger just takes it, breaks it up for me. And then when I mix in my compost, I mean, it makes things pretty nice and fluffy here. I mean, there's still some clumps in here, but nothing to write home about. Well, that's the end of our episode. As you can see, planting hazelnuts isn't as hard as you think it is. And that hazelnut chocolate? Yes, please. Well, I better rinse off and take a little break. But we'll see you on the next episode. Well, today we're gonna plant some blueberries. Now, I ended up buying a lot of plugs, and these plugs are inch by inch or so, but Oh boy. They're kind of dead or dying. So I need to get these in the ground. Lessons around the farm come pretty hard. I think I ordered too much and I got them a little bit too late in the season. And my beds for planting blueberry plants and raspberry plants weren't ready. So in future years, I'm gonna get these plants and I'm gonna get them in the ground. This year I waited, and waiting cost me. And I think these just ended up drying up and dying. There's a few that are alive, so let's get to it.